Morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. This is Alan Burgos from the hashtag WalkWithLan channel. Welcome back to our channel. So today, I welcome you again to our Cyber Defense and Threat series. And this is week number 2. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of malware and ransomware. These malicious threats can wreak havoc on our digital lives, so it's essential to understand them and learn how to protect themselves. Let's get started. Malware and ransomware are significantly cybersecurity challenges that individuals and organizations face. In this episode, we will explore the different types of malware, discuss detection techniques, and uncover effective mitigation strategies against ransomware attacks. By the end of this video, you'll have a solid understanding of these threats and how to defend against them. Let's begin by understanding what malware is. Malware, short for malicious software, refers to a broad category of software designed to harm or exploit computer systems. It includes various types, each with its own characteristics and behaviors. Let's start with viruses. Viruses are among the most well-known types of malware. They infect files or programs and replicate themselves by attaching to other files or spreading through networks. Viruses can cause widespread damage, leading to data loss, system instability, and unauthorized access to sensitive information. They can also disrupt network operations and spread to other connected devices. Let's proceed with worms. Worms are a self-replicating malware that spreads through network without requiring user interaction. They exploit vulnerabilities in operating systems or applications to propagate. Worms can spread rapidly, consuming network, bandwidth, and overwhelming systems. They often carry payloads that can lead to data theft, system crashes, or even the creation of backdoors for remote attackers. Let's proceed with Trojans. Trojans disguise themselves as legit or legitimate software or files, tricking users into downloading and executing them. Once inside the system, they enable unauthorized access or perform malicious actions. Trojans can steal sensitive information such as lagging credentials or financial data. They can also grant attackers remote control over infected systems, allowing them to install additional malware or launch other attacks. Let's proceed with ransomware. Ransomware is a type of malware that encrypts files on a victim system, rendering them inaccessible until a ransom is paid. It has become a significant threat, targeting individuals, businesses, and even critical infrastructure. Ransomware can cause severe financial and operational damage. Victims may experience data loss, system downtime, and reputational harm. Paying the ransom does not guarantee file recovery, and it may encourage further attacks. Let's proceed with spyware. Spyware is designed to gather information about a user's activities without their consent. It silently monitors and records keystrokes, web browsing habits, and other sensitive data. Spyware can compromise privacy by collecting personal information and transmitting it to malicious actors. This can lead to identify theft. This can lead to identity theft, financial fraud, and unauthorized access to accounts or systems. Let's proceed with adware. Adware is a type of malware that displays unwanted advertisements or redirects users to malicious websites. It often comes bundled with free software or downloads. Adware can degrade system performance, slow down internet browsing, and compromise user privacy. It may also expose users to other types of malware or scams through deceptive advertisements. Let's proceed with botnets. Botnets are networks of compromised devices, often referred to as zombies or bots. Controlled by a central command and control (CNC) server, they can be used for various malicious activities such as launching DDoS attacks or distributing spam emails. Botnets enable attackers to carry out large-scale attacks, causing service disruptions, financial losses, and reputational damage. Infected devices may experience performance issues and become part of illegal activities without the user's knowledge. Understanding these different types of malware is crucial for recognizing the potential risks they pose. It allows users to implement appropriate security measures, such as using reputable antivirus software, regularly updating software and operating systems, and practicing safe browsing habits to mitigate the impact of malware attacks. Understanding the different types of malware is crucial because it helps us identify and defend against potential threats. Let's take a closer look at some of the common malware types and their potential consequences. Okay, so for data breaches, malware can be used as a tool to breach organizations' databases, resulting in the unauthorized access and theft of sensitive information. This can include personally identifiable information, PII, financial data, or intellectual property. The 2017 Equifax breach exposed the personal data of approximately 147 million individuals, including social security numbers and credit card information. The NotPet the, the NotPetya malware attack in 2017 targeted numerous organizations worldwide, causing widespread data loss and disruption. For financial losses, malware attacks can lead to substantial financial losses for both individuals and organizations. This can result from direct theft, fraud, or the costs associated with remediating the attack and restoring affected systems. One example of this is the Carbanak Group, responsible for a series of cyber attacks, stole over $1 billion from financial institutions worldwide. Cryptocurrency-related malware such as CryptoLocker has extorted millions of dollars from victims by encrypting their files and demanding ransom payments. Privacy violations. Malware can compromise user privacy by collecting personal information without consent, leading to identity theft, blackmail, or unauthorized surveillance. This can have significant emotional and psychological consequences for victims. SpyEI and ZUs are well-known banking trojans that aim to steal online banking credentials, compromising user privacy and potentially leading to financial loss. The Ashley Madison data breach in 2015 exposed the private information of millions of users, causing personal and professional repercussions. System disruption. Malware attacks can disrupt critical systems and operations, leading to downtime, lost productivity, and damage to an organization's reputation. This can result in significant financial and operational consequences. The WannaCry ransomware attack in 2017 affected hundreds of thousands of systems worldwide, disrupting hospitals, businesses, and public services. The Stuxnet worm targeted industrial control systems, causing physical damage to Iran's nuclear facilities. Distributed denial of service attacks. Malware can be used to create botnets, which are networks of compromised devices to launch DDoS attacks. These attacks overwhelm targeted systems with a flood of traffic, rendering them inaccessible to legitimate users. The Mirai botnet, consisting of compromised Internet of Things devices, launched massive DDoS attacks in 2016, causing widespread disruptions to Internet services. The DYN attack in the same year affected major websites and services, highlighting the impact of DDoS attacks. Understanding the real-world impact of malware underscores the importance of implementing robust cybersecurity measures. This includes using reputable antivirus software, regularly updating systems and software, practicing safe browsing habits, conducting security awareness training, and employing multi-factor authentication. These measures help mitigate the risk and protect against the devastating consequences of malware attacks. Now that we have an understanding of malware, let's move on to the malware analysis and detection techniques. Detecting malware early is crucial for preventing potential damage. Let's explore some effective methods used by cybersecurity professionals. Static analysis is a malware detection technique that examines the code or binary of a program without executing it. It involves analyzing the structure, syntax, and behavior of the program to identify potential malicious characteristics. Static analysis involves using specialized tools and techniques to analyze files such as executables, scripts, or documents. It examines indicators of compromise, IOCs, patterns, and signatures to identify known malware or suspicious code. Static analysis is useful for detecting known malware or variants of known malware. It can be automated, making it suitable for large-scale scanning and analysis. It helps in identifying code-level vulnerabilities and analyzing the potential impact of malware without running it. Dynamic analysis. Dynamic analysis is a malware detection technique that involves executing malware in controlled environment, such as a virtual machine or a sandbox, to observe its behavior and interaction with the system. Dynamic analysis involves running malware samples in a controlled environment while monitoring their actions, system calls, network traffic, and file modifications. It aims to identify malicious behavior such as file encryption, network communication, or unauthorized system changes. Dynamic analysis allows for the detection of unknown or zero-day malware that, that may evade static analysis techniques. It provides insights into the malware's behavior, helping in understanding its capabilities, persistence mechanism, and potential damage. It can also assist in generating signatures or IOCs for future detection. Behavioral analysis is a malware detection technique that focuses on monitoring and analyzing the behavior of programs or processes in real time. It observes how a program or malware interacts with the system, files, network, and other processes. Behavior analysis involves observing and analyzing the actions and activities of a program to identify abnormal or suspicious behavior. It looks for indicators such as unauthorized system changes, unusual network traffic, or attempts to access sensitive files or resources. Behavior analysis is effective in detecting new and unknown malware that may exhibit different characteristics from known malware. It can detect malware that uses sophisticated evasion techniques or modifies its behavior to avoid detection. By focusing on behavior, it can identify polymorphic or fileless malware that may bypass traditional signature-based detection. It is important to note that each malware detection technique has its strengths and limitations. Combining multiple techniques such as both static and dynamic analysis or incorporating behavioral analysis can provide a more comprehensive and effective approach to malware detection. Additionally, machine learning and other artificial intelligence techniques are often used to enhance these detection methods by leveraging large datasets and pattern recognition algorithms. This ongoing evolution in malware detection techniques is critical to keep up with the ever-evolving landscape of cyber threats. By employing this analysis and detection techniques, we can identify and mitigate malware before it can cause significant harm. It is essential to have robust antivirus software and intrusion detection system in place to detect and block malware in real time. Now let's shift our focus to ransomware, one of the most prevalent and damaging forms of malware today. Ransomware attacks encrypt files and demand a ransom for their release. It's crucial to understand how ransomware operates and how we can protect ourselves. Delivery is the initial stage of ransomware attack, and it involves the introduction of the malware into the victim's system. There are several common delivery methods used by attackers. Phishing emails. Attackers send emails with malicious attachments or links that, when clicked or opened, download the ransomware onto the victim system. Attackers exploit vulnerabilities in software or websites to automatically deliver the ransomware to vulnerable systems. Malvertising, malicious advertising, or on legitimate websites to redirect users to websites hosting the ransomware, leading to its download. Remote desktop protocol compromise. Attackers exploit weak or compromised RDP credentials to gain unauthorized access to systems and install the ransomware. Once the ransomware is delivered to the victim system, the execution state begins. During this stage, the ransomware code is activated and it starts encrypting files and compromising the system. The execution stage typically involves the following steps. Encryption. The ransomware scans the system and encrypts files using strong encryption algorithms, rendering them inaccessible to the victim. This includes important documents, images, databases, and other valuable data. The ransomware establishes persistence mechanism to ensure it remains active even after system reboots or attempts to remove it. Network propagation, some ransomware strings attempt to spread across the network to infect other connected systems, increasing the scope of the attack. In terms of extortion, the final stage of ransomware attack is extortion, where the attackers demand payment from the victim in exchange for decrypting the encrypted files or restoring system access. The extortion stage typically involves the following actions. The ransomware leaves a message, often in the form of a text file or a pop-up window informing the victim that their files are encrypted and providing instructions on how to make the ransom payment. The ransom note typically contains instructions on how to purchase cryptocurrency such as Bitcoin to pay the ransom. Attackers often require the payments to be made within the specified time frame. Threats and intimidation. In some cases, attackers may threaten to delete the encrypted files or expose sensitive information if the ransom is not paid. This is done to increase the pressure on the victim to comply. It's important to note that paying the ransom does not guarantee that the attackers will fulfill their promises. There have been instances where victims paid the ransom but did not receive the decryption key or experienced further extortion attempts. Moreover, paying the ransom only perpetuates the ransomware business model and encourages further attacks. To mitigate the impact of a ransomware attack, it is crucial to have robust backup strategies in place. Regularly update and patch software, use reputable security software, educate users about phishing and safe browsing practices, and implement network segmentation to contain the spread of ransomware. Additionally, organizations should have an incident response plan to guide them in the event of a ransomware attack, enabling a swift and coordinated ransomware to minimize damage and recover systems. Implementing proper backup strategies, staying vigilant against phishing attacks, and keeping software and systems up to date are some essential steps in mitigating the risk of ransomware attacks. It's crucial to have a comprehensive defense strategy to safeguard our data and systems. Regular data backups. Regularly backing up critical data is one of the most effective mitigation strategies against ransomware attacks. By maintaining up-to-date backups, organizations can restore their systems and files without paying the ransom. Here are some best practices for data backups. Perform frequent backups. Regularly back up your data to ensure that you have decent copies available for restoration. Use offline or offsite backups. Keep backups offline or in an isolated network segments to prevent them from being compromised by ransomware. Regularly test the restoration process to ensure that backups are functional and can be successfully restored. User education plays a vital role in preventing ransomware attacks. By educating users about the risks and best practices, organizations can significantly reduce the likelihood of successful attacks. Key aspects of user education include train users to recognize phishing emails and avoid clicking on suspicious links or opening attachments from unknown sources. Encourage users to visit only reputable websites, avoid downloading files from untrusted sources, and be cautious with email and file attachments. Social engineering awareness. Educate users about social engineering tactics used by attackers to trick them into revealing sensitive information or executing malicious actions. Network segmentation involves dividing a network into smaller, isolated segments to limit the spread of malware, including ransomware. It helps contain the impact of an attack and prevents lateral movement within the network. Key practices for network segmentation include restricting access, implementing strict access controls to limit user and system privileges within network segments. So deploy firewalls to control traffic between network segments and enforce security policies. Segment the network based on data sensitivity and criticality, ensuring that higher value assets have additional layers of protection. Endpoint protection is essential for securing individual devices, such as computers and mobile devices, from ransomware attacks. Here are some strategies for effective endpoint protection. Use reputable antivirus and anti-malware software. Deploy robust security solutions that include real-time threat detection and behavior monitoring capabilities. Regularly apply security patches and updates to fix vulnerabilities that can be exploited by ransomware. Allow only trusted applications to run on endpoints, reducing the risk of unauthorized or malicious software execution. Developing an incident response plan is crucial for responding to ransomware attacks promptly and effectively. This plan should include the following elements. Define roles and responsibilities. Clearly outline the roles and responsibilities of team members involved in the incident response process. Establish communication channels. By defining the communication channels and procedures for reporting, escalating, and coordinating the response efforts. Practice and test the plan. Regularly conduct drills and simulations to ensure that the incident response plans is well understood and can be executed efficiently during the real attack. By implementing these mitigation strategies, organizations can significantly reduce their vulnerability to ransomware attacks and minimize the impact if an attack does occur. It's important to adopt a layered approach to cybersecurity, combining these strategies with ongoing monitoring, threat intelligence, and continuous employee training to stay ahead of evolving ransomware threats. Let's discuss some real examples. No? To further illustrate the impact of malware and ransomware, let's explore some real life examples and case studies. By examining these incidents, we can understand the consequences and learn from them. How about, do you do you remember the WannaCry ransomware attack in 2017? WannaCry was global ransomware attack that affected hundreds of thousands of computers in over 150 countries. It exploited a vulnerability in the Windows operating system, spreading rapidly through networks and encrypting files. The WannaCry attack targeted systems that had not installed the critical security patch released by Microsoft. Promptly applying security patches is crucial to protect against known vulnerabilities. Network segmentation. Organizations with proper network segmentation were able to limit the spread of the ransomware, containing its impact on critical systems. Organizations with robust backup systems were able to restore their files without paying the ransom, emphasizing the importance of regularly data backups. How about the NotPetya malware attack in 2017? NotPetya was a destructive malware attack that targeted organizations primarily in Ukraine but spread globally. It initially masqueraded as a ransomware attack, but its primary goal was to cause widespread disruption and damage. Soft Software supply chain security. NotPetya was distributed through a compromised software update, highlighting the importance of ensuring the security and integrity of software supply chains. The rapid and effective response to NotPetya was critical in minimizing its impact. Organizations should have well-defined incident response plans and conduct regular drills to be prepared for such attacks. Defense in-depth approach. NotPetya demonstrated the need for multiple layers of defense, including network segmentations, strong access controls, and behavior-based detection and mechanisms. How about the SolarWinds supply chain attack in 2020? No? That was 3 years ago. The SolarWinds attack was a sophisticated supply chain attack that affected thousands of organizations worldwide. Attackers compromised the software update mechanism of SolarWinds, a popular IT management software provider, to distribute backdoor known as Sunburst. The attack highlighted the importance of supply chain security and the need to vet and monitor third-party software vendors and their security practices. Organizations should adopt a zero-trust approach, which assumes that all systems and users are potentially compromised, and implements strict access controls, monitoring, and verification mechanisms. Advanced threat detection systems, including behavior-based analysis and anomaly detection, can help identify and mitigate supply chain attacks that use sophisticated invasion techniques. These case studies emphasize the importance of implementing preventive measures such as regularly patching and updating of software and systems, implementing network segmentation and strong access control to limit the impact of attacks, conducting regular backups and testing the restoration process, maintaining a robust incident response plan and conducting regular drills, enhancing supply chain security by vetting and monitoring third-party vendors, deploying advanced threat detection mechanisms to identify and respond to sophisticated attacks. By learning this by learning from these case studies, implementing these preventive measures, organizations can strengthen their defenses against software and ransomware attack and reduce the risk of significant damage and disruptions to their operations. That wraps up week 2 of our cyber defense and threat series. We've explored malware, its analysis and detection techniques, as well as the risk of ransomware attacks and effective mitigation strategies. By understanding these threats and implementing best practices, we can better protect ourselves and our digital environments. Stay tuned for week 3, where we'll dive into another critical aspect of cybersecurity. Thank you for watching, and do not forget to subscribe to our channel, #WalkWithLan, for more valuable content. See you next time. Bye-bye.